Hello everyone and welcome back to Modeling with Raydz. If you don't know what this series is, it's basically where I teach you how to make your own custom sabers. Today we are going to be going into episode 2. In this episode I'm going to be addressing the modeling part. This may be the longest video, so I will put timestamps. There's two different methods that you can use when it comes to saber modeling. You can either model each part separately, or you can model the entire thing in a modeling software and put it into Unity later on. The method that I use most is to model the parts separately in a modeling software. For 3D modeling, I would highly recommend using Blender. Once you're in Blender, under New File, click on General. The first thing you're ever going to want to do when you open a new Blender project is delete these 3 items on the right side of the screen, as shown over here. Once it's all deleted, you are going to add a cylinder on the work grid. To do that, click Add, Mesh, and then Cylinder. Now this looks like a big fat cylinder, right? So we want to resize it. To do that, go to the right side of your screen where it says Scale X, Y, and Z. For best results, change it to the settings that I have applied here. Looks a lot better, right? Now you have a stick. Let's make this stick pointy. To do that, go up to where it says Object Mode and click Edit Mode. You'll now see that there are vertices on either side of the saber. Select all vertices on only one side of the saber, press S, and move your cursor down. It will now make it pointy. Make sure you don't do it too much, or your blade will look dented. The next step is to export this model into a file on your computer. To do that, go to the top left corner where it says File, click on Export, and then choose the FBX option. Export it to a safe location where you know you can access it, and name it whatever you would like. For the handle, make another cylinder. Size it down exactly how you did last time, but for the Z, put 0.1. Rotate it 90 degrees on the X-axis. You now have a handle. To make it a little bit more fancy, very easily, duplicate the cylinder that you just made for the handle. On the cylinder you just duplicated, make the Z 0.001. Now, select the Move tool on the left panel. Drag it to where it is just below the handle, like that. Now export exactly how you did. Now it is time to put the parts together in Unity. To get the project open Unity Hub and find the project file. If you don't know what I mean or how to get the project file into Unity Hub, watch my last video. Once you're in Unity, you will see this already pre-made saber. This is important. This is the saber mesh. We are going to be working with it. Do not delete it. It is time to import your models. So find wherever you exported your models and drag them into Unity into the space that I put them in. In the top left, near the top left at least, you will see template saber and a little arrow next to it. Click on that arrow. Now it will unveil left saber and right saber. Click on those arrows too. Now you will see left saber mesh and right saber mesh. You can hide the left saber mesh, but keep the right saber mesh as we are going to be working with it. We're going to start off with the blade model, so take your blade model and put it where I do. You will see an uncentered blade from the saber mesh. So what you're going to do is use those little arrows to navigate it around. Make sure the tip of the blade meets up with the tip of the saber mesh blade. Now I'm going to put my handle in, do the exact same thing. I'm going to hide the saber mesh real quick so then I can line up the handle with the blade. Now watch this. As I re-enable the saber mesh, you will see that the handle is sticking out of the handle of the saber mesh. Now if you click on the model, you will see on the right side that there are some scaling options. So change the Z scaling. until it fits. Move it around as you need to. Now let's enable the saber mesh now. Let's click on the handle, and as you can see, it fits inside perfectly. Since it fits perfectly, you can now disable the right saber mesh. You will see that you now have a gray stick. So let's add a splotch of color onto it using materials. So if you click on the saber folder, go to materials, you will see 3 pre-made materials already. Here we have handle matte. Now we have glow matte red and glow matte blue. On the left panel, if you click the little triangle next to the name of your model, you will see that it says cylinder and cylinder 001. For this little piece down here, I'm going to put glow matte blue on it. If you're doing the left saber, put on glow matte red. For the main part of the handle, put on handle matte. And for the blade, put on glow matte blue or glow matte red. We now have a very basic saber, as you can see. Let's put this on the left saber, shall we? First of all, let's take all of our models and drag it under the right saber, so this saber will be on your right hand when you're playing with it in game. So just take each model, hover over right saber, and drop it. Now let's copy and paste this over to the left saber. So shift click on each one of the materials. Right click on it, hit copy, right click again, and hit paste, and then drag it and drop it on left saber. Now go back to right saber by clicking on right saber and hide it. Now you will have left saber, which looks exactly like the right saber for now. So we are going to use glow matte red since this is the left saber. So I'm going to put it on the blade and the little part of the handle. Now you can enable right saber again. We're not ready to export it just yet. We still have not done the trails, which will be in the next episode. We have now finished with the model each part separately segment. Now let's learn how to model the entire thing in a modeling software and import it into Unity later on. Quick note that if you need help understanding anything that is shown in this method, please watch the previous method, it will explain everything. When you have your Blender project set up like we did before with everything deleted as shown before, you're now going to import the saber mesh. We are going to be working with the saber mesh in Blender rather than Unity. So go to File, Import, then FBX. I will leave a link to the saber mesh in the description. And bam, as seen in Unity, the saber mesh is now in Blender. You are now going to make these cylinders exactly how you did before, but make sure everything is matched up to the saber mesh. Also, when you point the blade, make sure to hide the saber mesh by clicking the little eye icon next to it. This is very important, so before export, make sure to delete the saber mesh that you imported into Blender, or else it will show in Unity when you don't need it. Once you're in Unity, drag the model in. Once it's in, drag and drop it right under right saber. This time, you can safely delete the saber meshes as we already worked with it in Blender. All that's left to do is put the materials on the saber as I explained before. Thank you everyone for watching. Please leave a like if this helped. Maybe even subscribe if you like my content. and want to see the future episodes of this series. As I said earlier, in the next episode, I'm going to be addressing the trails. In that episode, we are actually going to be exporting the saber. After that, the future of this series will be extras to make your saber even better. Once again, thank you for watching this tutorial, and I will see you all later.